Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to another exciting day in mathematics. Warm-up number 7's on the screen. Get started, please. As soon as you're done, make sure you turn in your home plate from last night on Canvas and get a Cornell note ready. You don't need a fair model. Today's going to be going pretty fast. I don't know. Somehow it just flew by. So stay focused. So once again, the statement was the majority prefer comedy, or the least amount of people prefer drama, whatever the case. All right? Copy the agenda for today. Warm-up number 7, relative frequency tables. Tonight's home plate, 2 problems only. And once again, please zoom in as much as you can, because if you send me stuff that looks like this, it's hard for me to see on my screen as it is on your screen. Please, pretty please, with a cherry on top. All right, we good? All right, so last night's home plate were 2 problems. And also, just in case you fall behind on the notes today, like I said, it's going to go like this. That fast. Let's go. Copy the code for tonight, G928B. G928B. You can go to the presentation and revisit that tonight. All right, so last night's home plate were these 2 problems, and I'm pretty sure you completed them and you turned those in on Canvas already, yes? All right, if not, do that right now. From this point forward, last week and yesterday, I gave you guys till about 3:25 to turn in your stuff, or else it was going to be late. From this point forward, I'm going to finish and do the cutoff at the end of the period. So if you turn in anything after that, it's going to be late. Just giving you a heads up. So, 2 problems, yes? Tonight, look up. This is your home plate for tonight. The same problems, but you need them complete because we're going to add to that. You're like, what? Yeah, you're going to see that today's lesson, and it's going to make sense once we get there, okay? So, with that said, get a Cornell note ready. You don't need a Farrier model today. Don't need a Farrier model, which means you don't need that organizer over there on your Cornell notes. Write down your objective. Our objective for today, I can summarize data using relative frequency tables. And if you notice, it's a little bit different from yesterday. Yesterday it was just, I can summarize data using frequency tables. Today it says what? Relative frequency tables. And I'm going to elaborate on that in a little bit. Set up your notes. So, shall we? Once again, today's objective, I can summarize data using relative frequency tables. What is the main idea for today, Mia Acosta? Yes, relative frequency tables. Man, good bounce back, right? Let's go. Yes, relative frequency tables. We don't need a Farrier model to that. However, we do need to know the definition of frequency tables. Without looking at your notes, tell your neighbor what frequency tables are. What are frequency tables? Let's go, let's go. All right, so it looks like we got it, yes? All right, so without looking at your notes, on your screen, 30 seconds, give me the definition of frequency tables. No notes. Whatever your neighbor told you, write it in there. 30 seconds, please. Go. All right, so look at this. It says frequency shows how often data occurs. Look at that table. Tell your neighbor the name of that table, please. Name of that table. This is known as a what? One-way frequency table. table. We worked on those yesterday. Now check this out. Today, I'm introducing something new. Look up. It's called a one-way relative frequency table. This is a one-way frequency table. The one that I'm going to introduce is a relative frequency table. So look at this one. Tell your neighbor the only thing that you notice different from one to the other. Yeah, it says relative frequency instead of frequency. And I'm going to show you how to fill this in. So copy the first one and copy the second one as is, and then we'll get to that as soon as you're done copying that. 1 minute. Example 1Q. Yeah, copy this one and copy that one. Go. Thank you. All right, here we go. So, one-way frequency table, one-way relative frequency table. So, I like to do this next part without saying anything so you guys can do all the thinking, not me. Is that cool? Okay, writing utensils down, look up to the screen, or you're going to miss it. One-way frequency table, one-way relative frequency table. I need all the data from here to build this one. Think about it, don't say it out loud. All right, let's see if it works. I'm going to fill this one now. All right, talk it over to your neighbor, let them know how we got the basketball one and the total one. See if they see it. Good. Let's see. Elaborate on basketball. How did I get 1/4? 20 over 80. So I take that one divided by the total, 20 over 80. 20 over 80 is the same as 2 over 8, which is what? 1/4, which is 0.25. Hands if you saw that? All right. So how did we get 1, everyone? 80 over 80, which is 1. Copy that, please, and fill in the last two. Fill in the last two, please. All right, let's see. Football. I need football. What'd you get for football? Gloria. What'd you get? What is it? 0.4. Hands if you got that. That is correct. And it was 32 over 80, which is 2/5, yes? And that's how we get that, okay? Soccer. What'd you get for soccer? Kendall. 0.35. Hands if you got that. That is correct. We get that from 28 over 80, which is 7 over 40. No, 14 over 40, which is 7 over 20. Yes? All right. How can we check to see if we have all our decimals correct? If we go that away, they need to add up to what? 1. 0.25 plus 0.4 plus 0.35 should equal to 1. This is our one-way relative frequency table. From 1 to 5, how comfortable are you filling those in? Yeah, 5, 5, 5. All right. Send me a picture of your work, please, on the screen. Oh, yeah. All right, so far so good. So, once again, we were able to see that this was a one-way frequency table, and this is a one-way relative frequency table, and we know how to fill it in. All right. Look up to the screen. Say, neighbor, the name of that one. Two-way frequency table. So what do you think I'm going to do after I fill that one in? Tell your neighbor. Let's go. That is correct. So underneath that, copy another one exactly like it, but empty. This is going to be our two-way frequency. This is going to be our two-way relative frequency. Don't fill this one in yet because there's a couple things I want to show you. So, but copy both and start filling in the first one, please. Go. All right, make sure you label the second table two-way relative frequency. So like that, you know that this is the one we're going to do for the relative frequency. So, girls soccer. Let's see. Luis. $18. All right. Of course, if we add up the football, that gives us 32. And obviously, 6 plus what gives us 20? 14. Okay, we got that. All right. So, here goes. Y'all ready? I don't know if anybody noticed. Did anybody notice this? I'm just putting it out just to make it a little bit obvious, but it was what we wrote there. Let's go. All right. So the first ones are done, right? The bottom ones. So let's fill those in. This one is 0.25. This one is point what? 4 and 0.35. And this one is 1. Okay. Next, let's go to soccer and boys. So you know what to write there as a fraction, and then simplify to decimal. What do I write there? Victor, what do I write? Very good. 10 over 80. Yes? Everybody see it? Once again, how do we get these over here? We're divided by 80, divided by 80, divided by 80. Now we're dividing this one by 80, which is 1/8, which is 0.125. Is that correct? Yes, no, maybe so. All right. Let's go to, let's see. Let's go to football. Girl football. So you remember what to write on that one, please, in fraction form, and then from there in decimal. Fraction form, Mariana. Charlotte, help her out. Well, first the fraction. Fraction is what? 12 over 80, yes. Simplified, that one is 6 over 40, which is 3 over 20. Yes. Which is, in decimal form, you said what? 0.15. Hands if you got that. Looks about right. All right, fill in the rest that are missing, please. And then check with your neighbor before I send you the screen so you can send that over to me so I can see what you did. All right, here we go. Help me with basketball. Michael, both of them, girl and boy. What'd you get for basketball, girl? 0.75, and boy? 17.5. Hands if you got that. That is correct. Let's see. Football. Boy. Craig. 0.25. Hands if you got that. Looks about right. And soccer girl. Craig. 0.225. Looks about right. So, total for girls. What you get for your total, Tessa, for girls? 0.45. Hands if you got that. Which obviously, 0.45 plus what gives us 1? 0.55. That is correct. So, from 1 to 5, how comfortable are you with two-way relative frequency tables? Yeah, we got this, yes? But we're not done, though. What do we need? An observation or a summary. Look at the data. Tell your neighbor what you observed from those tables, please. Make a statement for that. What do you observe from there? Now, mind you, some of you are going to observe something that someone else is not observing. That's okay. So, what would be a statement for that, Briseida? Most students prefer football. 10Q. Let's see. Here are the totals. Football seems to be the one that most people like. Okay. However, somebody might have made an observation in regards to that boys versus girls or one sport versus the other. That's okay. Just write whatever you're pointing out. Okay? All right. So, I think we got this. Did everybody send me in my stuff? Let's see. My goodness, hurry up, please. All right. Okay, look up. So, let me go back. One-way frequency table, one-way relative frequency table. Two-way frequency table, two-way relative frequency table. So, what do we notice in regards to finding the relativity of the frequency table in regards to the total? That would divide everything by what? The total. So in this case, it was 80. All right? So, these have names, by the way. If I was to ask you to fill out this relative frequency table, but I only asked you for a specific section, it has a name. Look up to the screen. Here it goes. Write your utensils down. So let's say I gave you this two-way table, and I said the following. I want you to give me the marginal relative frequency. You're like, oh, snap. Well, marginal, think about it. If you think about language arts, margin is usually where? On the side, right? Well, guess what? Whenever I ask you for the marginal frequency, relative frequency, you're going to go to the end and make the computation for this, and at the end down here, the computation for that. That's the name of it. Did we know how to do that? Yes. So if you have a highlighter or different color pen, box those in green or highlight them in a certain color and label these marginal relative frequencies. Leslie, marginal relative frequencies. If you need to borrow some highlighters, there's some over there on that box on top of the iPad card. marginal relative frequencies. Now in bio, when you study the body, we have different extremities and such, but we know that in between, like for say the arm, we have elbow, we have wrist, we have shoulder. For the legs, we have knees, ankles. Those are also called what? Joints. That is correct. Well, guess what? In this table, whatever is left in between is also known as joint relative frequency. So highlight this center one in a different color. This is what we call joint relative frequencies. Did we find them already? Yeah, you're just highlighting right now. So once again, the totals on the sides and the bottom are known as marginal, and the ones in the center are known as joint relative frequencies. Make a note of it. So for example, let's say Friday's coming, and I gave you a table, and I said, find me the marginal relative frequencies, you would know what to do, yes? Yes? All right. All right. We good? Yeah, we got this, right? All right. So, there's one more relative frequency that I need to explain. Here it goes. It's known as conditional relative frequency. Writing utensils down, look up to the screen. Conditional, meaning there is a condition that you're going to focus on. So, let's say I wanted just to focus on soccer. Not the whole thing, but just soccer itself, that condition. So I highlight that. That's going to be my only table that I'm going to focus on. Which means if I ask you to find me the relative frequency just for this column as a table by itself, what do you think we should divide 18 by? Talk about your neighbor. What shall we divide 18 by? Yeah, that is correct, 28, because we're treating that by itself as a condition. So it would be 18 by 28. That's how we get 0.64. With that same idea, we divide what? 10 by 28. That gives us 0.36. All right. But what if I didn't want that condition? I wanted to focus on girl. So, neighbor, what would I divide this 6 by in order to find the basketball girl? Yeah, which would be what? 6 divided by 36, which is 1/6 of 0.06 repeating, and so on and so forth. All right? Simple as that? Yes? All right. So, did we summarize relative frequency tables? Yes? So check this out. So, last night's home plate, look at it. You already completed them, right? So, get those out really quick. And I want you to make the tables blank, if you want, on the side or on a different table, on a different paper. And I'm going to give you a head start. Start with number 1. Find me the relative frequency tables. I don't want marginal. I don't want joint. I just want the relative, the whole thing, for both. Yes? Yeah, good thing you did your home play, right? All right. And I'll stop the recording right there, and I'll upload the lesson in a little bit. So you still have time. Let's get to work, please.